What's up, Doc?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
All right, so you have something big going on this weekend.
Yeah,
Go ahead, tell us about it.
we've got our classic going this weekend. We started out where you had to fish 2 tournaments to get into it, and we thought this year we would just double up the entrance fees for anybody else that wanted to fish in it, because we've got a lot of extra prizes. We've got a $550 bonus pot that's put in by several different construction companies around the state for the big fish, and we decided to give everybody a shot at it. And we're gonna be down here at the Crossett Port Saturday morning. We're gonna sign up at between 6:30 and 7, take off at 7, and be back at the boat ramp by 3. Quit fishing at 3, and be back at the ramp by 3:30 for the weigh-in. We got door prizes for spectators to come down and watch. Got some grab bags here for people, and we're going to try to make a full day of it.
That sounds good. And you're going to, I'm pretty sure you mentioned you were renting that pavilion down there. That's where you're going to
Yes, we've got the big pavilion rented down here at the port, and we're going to have a drive around weigh-in this time instead of just bam, bam, bam. We're going to have a drive around where we'll have one truck at a time up there.
Oh, you're going to carry the boat and all up through there to
yeah,
do it.
We're going to load the boats up after when we come back to the port. Everybody will load their boat up and get back there and line up and come through one at a time.
Boy, I tell you right now, though, if you get 100 boats down there, you're going to be busy.
Well, so far I've heard of 12 or 13 boats for sure. And we're hoping some more. That's just the ones I've heard from, and we're hoping to get a bunch of folks that just seen I put flyers out around town, and it was in the paper today.
I saw that, yeah.
And we was hoping to get some more folks to come in and fish. Maybe they enjoy what they're doing and they'll fish with us next year.
And there's something else you pointed out there. I don't mean to cut you off there, but I've already started. But you mentioned spectators. And you guys I think you're going to have some entertainment, maybe some food down there during the day to entertain people, too.
Yes, we're going to have Jones Be Smoking. They're going to be down there at 6 o'clock in the morning. They're going to serve breakfast. They're going to serve lunch throughout the day, and they've got some special plates and stuff fixed up for a special price for the tournament. And Sarah Stagg's supposed to be down there sometime during the day, and she's going to play music and be our MC for the tournament, for the weigh-in and everything. And we're going to try to make a big deal out of it this year. Last year it wasn't too big. We had it at Little Rock last year, and we didn't get no response from no help from anybody up that way. But Crossett's come through pretty good this year for us. They had several folks step up, sponsor stuff, and giving door prizes. We're going to have door prizes. And we had several folks to give stuff for door prizes. And I've got to go. I'll be going around tomorrow, picking up some more of the door prizes and stuff. Trying to get it all nailed down to have it ready for Friday evening. I can go. Fire department up here told me I can use their tables. So we'll be getting that all set up down there Friday evening and Saturday morning. And like I said, we've got several sponsors from around town that's pitched in stuff to go in the grab bags, the goodie bags and stuff. Not to mention our normal sponsors we got Meat Hunter rods, B&M rods, Boss Cat hooks, Parks planer boards, Mayhem tackle, Hooker's Terminal tackle, and Nocturnal Nation catfish hooks. Them's all been our sponsors all along. They've been with us since the first. And we're trying to grow. It's our third year, and we started out just me and Michelle talking about it, and we got started posting on Facebook. And next thing you know, we're up to over 1,300 members, almost 1,400.
Well, of course, this is the classic. This is, I hate to think of it like the season finale, but it's kind of like that. I think it is kind of the season finale. But tell us how many tournaments you've actually, when did you start this year? Every year. And about how many tournaments?
we have 8 regular season tournaments and then our classic every year. We start usually in March, and 1 month during the year we'll have 2 tournaments that same month. We have one somewhere and then one at Lake Chico. And this here one, we got enough of outpouring from the city this year that we're going to start having our classic at Felsenthal every year. And we hope it keeps growing and growing and growing to where we can be a good name on it. We've had some pretty good following on it. We'll have folks coming down from Little Rock and Benton area and coming from Camden, Eudora. I think there's a couple coming from up the other side of the Arkansas River somewhere, up or Jacksonville or somewhere up in there.
Well, that was going what I was going to ask you, Clyde. Is who your contestants are. I mean, so you mentioned a few places there. I mean, do they fish professionally? Is it just something they do on the side? They just enjoy doing it, or who's your typical fisher?
It's just the common everyday man. I mean, the ones that'll be at this tournament here, one of the guys, the one that won the last 2 tournaments, he hadn't never fished a tournament till about 3 months ago. And he's been fishing our tournaments, and the rest of us is just, common everyday people just likes to catfish and have fun doing it. And, with doing it this way, we can have fun, take a chance and win a little money and some prizes. I mean, the meat hunter rod that we're giving away at this tournament is about a $90 rod or so, or $95 rod, and the B&M rod's $80 rod. It's the top of the line B&M pretty much. The Silver Cat Elite rod, and the meat hunter rod's a spinning rod, but the B&M rod's a casting rod. And we've got a PC Fun reel. We're working on them as a sponsor. Hopefully we will get them on board by next year. And we do it for fun. Ain't nobody gonna get rich on the trail. I tell everybody this is the poor man's trail. Because our normal tournaments during the year, I'll put this way, our requirements to fish the classic usually are you've got to fish 2 tournaments during the year. But this year, by it being down here at home, we decided to open it up to everybody, because during the year our tournaments are $50 a spot. And that's you can have 4 licensed anglers in a boat. And if you want you can have a bunch of kids in the boat, whatever. I mean, that's kids under 16 they don't count in the thing. They get to weigh in their fish if they catch them. But we've got one man, his little boy will be down. His little boy, I think, is 11, and he's been fishing with us several times this year. But
that's good stuff. Keep on going, but that's good stuff about getting those kids involved.
Well, we've been trying to get more kids involved and more women. We're going to have, that I know of right now, at least 3 women in this tournament. I've talked to them, and we got 3 for sure.
Does that include Michelle?
Yeah, Michelle and 2 other ladies.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
One of them will be coming down from Little Rock to fish with her husband, and the other's going to be fishing with her husband. They're from Eudora.
Shoot, yeah. Catching catfish. I was going to ask you about this. I participated in the bass thing down there, which is a totally different kind of fish, totally different kind of rules. Because this is not the same kind of a tournament. This is But now, what is your? Is there any restrictions on how to catch the fish for you guys, other than it being illegal to do? I mean, what?
It's rod and reel only. Okay, it's kind of like the bass tournament. It's rod and reel only. Okay. But we ain't, a lot of the most of the bass tournament stuff, you're not allowed to get out of your boat for no reason.
Yeah. Well,
with our tournaments, if you got to go to the bathroom, or if you want to go back to the dock up there and go up there and get something to eat, it's fine. Yeah. But they've all got to be caught on rod and reel. They got to be alive. And if anybody brings in a dead fish, they're penalized. and the fish is given to somebody that's fishing on the bank down through there or whatever. But at Felsenthal, we got to throw everything back, whether it's live or dead, whatever. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
We've usually got a trash fish pot on our tournaments, but we lifted it for the classic. So we're just going to have the overall weight and big fish for this one. And the big fish pot costs each person, it costs them $10 to register for the big fish pot.
Yeah.
Let's say if we have, it'd be 3, 6, 8, 10. If we get, there's 22 people that's qualified. If just them 22 show up, that will be another $220 in the pot. So it'll be $770 for big fish.
Yeah.
But we got tickets that we hand out to all the fishermen after the tournament. When we do the weigh-in, we give everybody a ticket. And then after the drawing, after the weigh-in and everything, we have a drawing for the fishermen's prizes. And we'll do some drawings throughout, off and on. I think they're planning on doing drawings throughout the day. So after Sarah gets up there for door prizes and such as that. And it's going to be, we're going to film it. There's 2 or 3 of the guys on the page that does YouTube, and they'll be filming the weigh-in and everything. And
well, it would be nice to have someone doing a drone. But there was a question I was going to ask you. What was I going to ask you? You go ahead and talk. I had something that was. Oh, I know what it was. I'm sorry. This is pretty important because you mentioned that, typically you don't allow people that have not participated in at least 2 previous tournaments, but they were pay. Did you say they were paying double? Like
yes, they got to pay. Yeah, they got to pay $100 to fish it, and that covers for the 2 tournaments because the other, the ones that's qualified have done paid for those 2 tournaments.
I got you.
So that covers that for them, for the ones that hadn't fished 2 tournaments.
That's still pretty cheap, specifically what you could win from it with such a small show up too.
That's like I tell people, the rods we're giving away is worth the entrance fees.
Yeah. And that stuff would be, and there'll be a bunch of other packets because I still got something I got to give to you, and I bet you probably got 10, 12 more that you're giving away. That's a lot of stuff down there.
Oh, we've got a lot of stuff. We got several things for the fisherman drawings, and we've got several door prizes that's been donated, from cups to hummingbird feeder to gift cards and just all sorts of stuff. We got gift cards to the tire shop, one for Holt Chevrolet down there, and Medlin's Roofing donated a bunch of stuff, and they got a little bit of everything in that box. And our trail also, and now I started something new this year on the trail. I went up to the Legion Hall up there and talked to them folks up there, to the veterans. And I told them, if any of them wants to go fishing, to give me a call. I left my name, my number, and everything with them. And I guess it's been too hot because we hadn't got much following on that. They want to know what it would cost them. I said, only thing it's going to cost you is just your fishing license. I said, I've got the poles, I've got the bait. I said, I'll take care of all that, the gas, all that. I'll take care of that. And the last 2 years, we've worked with Felsenthal Refuge down here on their kids tournament. Their little, what do they call it? Fishing derby, the kids fishing derby.
Yeah.
We have worked with them on that for the last 2 years. And I'll be back in with them next year.
Yeah. Hey, once you get started in something, if it's good,
Oh, I enjoy it.
Good.
And I'm thinking about talking to, I don't know who to talk to, but I'm thinking about talking to somebody next year about start taking a few kids fishing. 1 or 2 at a time that's underprivileged or whatever and don't get to fish. We're trying to be community oriented here is what we're trying to do with this. And we've got some great people on our trail, and we've got several on there that would be willing to take other kids fishing and the veterans fishing.
Yeah. Just be careful out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just be
I've
careful.
got plenty of life jackets on the boat.
There you go. But hey, you made me think of something, because I'm one of those whittled down there. So we talked about the rules, and we talked about just on a pole, riding with your pole, whatever. Can you have how many? You said you could have 4 or 5 fishermen. How many poles can you have in the water? How many lines can you have in the water at once?
We don't have a limit on them. As many as you want. My boat, sometimes I got 13, 14 rods sticking up, look like a giant spider on the water.
Yeah.
And we don't have no limit on the number of rods, but you can only have 3 fish in the boat at a time unless you're culling one. When you catch your 4th fish, you've got to cull one of the others. Because that's all. And like I say, they've got to be alive at the weigh-in. That's a big thing there, because a lot of our sponsors won't sponsor it if we have keep tournaments, so they won't sponsor it. And I tell you, I myself like to eat a catfish just as much as anybody else, but about one day a month I can fish without having to keep it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, just looking into tournaments and looking at the rules of them, I mean, that's pretty standard. I mean, it's just something about it. I don't know what started that, but I do know that seems pretty standard.
Yeah, well, we pretty much go along the lines of the bass tournaments and stuff. You can't fish within, I think it's 50 yards of another boat, and like that. And if anybody gets down there fishing, if they catch one that they don't think will live in their live well to weigh in, they can call me and find out where I'm at and bring it to me, and we'll video and weigh it on the boat and turn it back loose right there. That way we know the fish lives.
Yeah.
But once they do one like that video weigh one, that's going to be one of their total weight. They can't cull that one.
You stuck with it, huh?
They're stuck with it.
Yeah. They better be happy to be stuck with you, or they're going to be feeling sad later on. Yeah, I tell you. So what's the fishing been looking like down here? Catfishing been looking like down here?
I don't really know. I haven't been down there but one time in the last month. And I caught one fish that day. It was 8 pounds, 14 ounces. And we just done that because I was trying out a new thing called dragging. I was just see if it would work down there.
Is that a weight, or are you talking about or dragging something on the bottom?
Dragging your bait across the bottom, just off the bottom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, can you tell us what you was fishing with, and what you have on there? What was tied to it? What was your bait?
Oh, the bait, I was using skipjack. That's what I was throwing that day. It's a little oily bait fish. About like shad works good down here in the Washita. Matter of fact, I'm going to go Friday and try to get me some fresh shad.
That's because they put off a good smell. Those
well, they're oily. Yeah, they're oily.
Yeah.
And that's the same with the skipjack. Skipjack is oily too. A lot of people had never heard of a skipjack. Well, they're actually called skipjack herring. And they look like a baby tarpon. Their mouth is shaped like their mouth and body is shaped a lot like a tarpon. But they're an oily bait fish and do what?
I said, but you can tell they're not a sunfish. That's for sure. They got a different shape to them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so see, this is what you're using now. In the areas if you're draining across the bottom, I guess you up in a little. You up somewhere real close to somewhere to something, aren't you?
Oh, we go up and down the river. We tried that up down the river the other day. That's what we was doing, just check and see if it would work down there.
Yeah.
And I catch most of my bigger fish being anchored out. Just find some place to anchor out. I don't use the depth finder much for finding the fish. I use it for watching the water depth from the places I want to fish.
What does it look like down there? Just give us a survey of how deep that water, the river versus the up the harbor.
Right now, the river is about a foot low, lower than normal pool. And it's got a lot of trees and logs and stuff in the bottom. It's got several on the banks. The water runs from, I guess it probably averages about 22 to 25 foot deep, depending on where you're at. There's a couple of deeper holes that goes down around 40, 42. It's got any kind of habitat you want to find down there, except rocks. You won't find hardly any rocks.
That's pretty much all up and down up this area here, or is it just is there you up there? You come up on the Saline River up there, at the north part of it, didn't you? I mean, that's fishing.
Yeah, I was born in Benton up there, and I fished the Saline River up there where it starts. My whole early part of my life.
Yeah.
And this down here is a complete different. The Washita down here and the Saline down here is complete different from what it is up there. Because up there you might go 3, 4, 5 miles before you find a place that's over belly button deep. Not down here.
And you got rock bottom mostly up there too.
Yeah, that up there it's a lot cleaner river up there because it flows over rock and gravel pretty much the entire length up there till it gets down south of Benton. And then it goes to getting the mud banks and the mud bottom and stuff. We used to catch a lot of walleye up there on them rocky bottoms.
I'm sorry, I missed that, Clyde. I'm sorry.
I said we used to catch a lot of walleye up there around Benton on them where it's rocky bottom and cleaner water. It's clear. Well, I don't say cleaner. I say clearer.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not going to try to judge all that. We just say you can see through it. How about that? Or
yeah.
could, anyway.
Yeah, up there you can. Down here you can't.
But, that whole Saline River, which pours into the Washita here, just right up just north of us, that's a clean river. I mean, I don't think anything is in it anymore. I think they pretty much made it a preserve all the way up and down it, isn't it? I mean, you can't dump sewage in it anymore, I don't think.
Oh, no, you're not allowed to dump sewage, raw sewage or nothing in it, but I don't know. I hardly ever fish the Saline. Every once in a while I fish right there in the mouth, but most of the time I stay on the Washita.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm just I know it's part of it, But now, but let me ask you this though. But someone that's fishing with you, if they knew where to catch catfish, they could go up Longview to catch them if they wanted to drive that stupid far, or what? What do you think?
Any place they can get to with a boat from the port, they're more than welcome to fish. As long as they're back at the port by 3:30. You can run anywhere upriver, downriver, backwaters, whatever. As long as you're back at the port by 3:30. And we're in this tournament here more for fun and getting to meet people. I have met some great people on this here. I've met some folks on here that I never would have met without the tournaments and made some real good friends.
Man, I tell you this, I wish now are your YouTube guys, are they going to fish the tournament, or are they just going to come there to the weigh-in, or what are they doing?
They'll be fishing the tournament too.
Good.
One of them, there's one pair of them, and them two guys there, they're hilarious. They're always out. They're out there. They film on the water while they're fishing, and they usually film the whole way in. And we've got our catfish page. I share it when they put a video out. I share it on the page. If they don't share it on the page, it's a Southeastern Arkansas Catfishing Trail. That's our page on Facebook. And everybody come on out and have some fun with us. We don't. Yeah. I mean, even if you're not fishing, you can come watch the weigh-in. We was down there last year, and Michelle caught a 31-pound blue last year in our tournament. And I was down there riding through the campground there at the port the other day, and I got flagged down by a guy and was talking to him. He was down there for the weigh-in last year. He remembered her and that big fish.
I tell you this, that's a lot of times you can't forget those babies. Well,
yeah.
Man, look at it. I done kept you on this thing for 30 minutes. You done told me about it, and I've kind of veered you off into the backwaters there a couple times. That's my job, because I know your brain. I know you've seen it, and I don't ask you a question. I know you can't answer eloquently at that, Clyde Hood. I appreciate spending the time with us tonight, and we're going to try to help get more people involved with this thing too. You should too. Whoever's listening, y'all should get